In my older videos, I've been getting a lot of comments on whether or not I'm married and why I'm not married. And, they were thinking about how, why is this person who, this is their claim, go look at the comments in the videos there. You know, People are saying, well, if you're this and that and you're whatever, well, then why aren't you married? It's like, well, have you taken a look at the dating situation? How old are you? Like, are you male or female? What kind of time period are you from? Because if you're from the now, uh, yeah, no, the world that you once knew, if you're an older person, that world is gone. Okay, it's absolutely never coming back, and I'm to the point to where, well, I'm not going to participate in the degeneracy, and I'm not going to just give myself to any woman. And I'm not going to, because a lot of even Christians out here, because I consider myself a follower of Christ, but a lot of Christians will say, oh, well, yeah, you can still, you can still have sex, you can still do this and that. And it's like, well, sure, you could do that, but is that actually godly? And is that actually going to be coherent to a moral foundation? Because moral bankruptcy is rampant in our society that we live in. Many people are morally bankrupt, and many people are also morally seduced. I talk about being morally seduced here in my new book, the Book of Oldishness. And being morally seduced by the society that you live in is a sign of just lack of self-discipline and lack of self-respect. However, there are going to be some people that are manipulated into sin, let's say, because of their virtue. And I don't want to encourage that kind of behavior at all. And I want to help maximize the potential for everybody that may be prone to that, to be manipulated because of their virtues, to be punished because of their virtues, to take a good hard look at themselves and be able to analyze how, they don't need to make the unnecessary mistakes that I did. I don't want people to make those kinds of stupid mistakes that are just unnecessary. And I think that a lot of the times with men and women, men have a lot of these side chicks nowadays, and they always say, oh, you got to have more than one. And it's like, well, do you though? I mean, I don't even want more than one woman. One woman is more than enough. And even then, I'm not in a position where I would even want to be married right now. The landscape of the dating market is just too terrible. And I've just worked too much to get to the point of where I'm at to just have everything ripped from me anyway. And you know what? It's like sometimes that kind of stuff is going to be pertinent to your situation. You're going to be working so much, so hard for so long that for the work that you do for years, it can go away with the wrong person in a lickety split way. It's very fast how quickly it happens, where you can lose everything potentially, where you can lose a lot of your momentum. And these people are just vampires. A lot of these women out here are just energy vampires that can't create life emanating from their own soul. And there's nothing but filth and, a lot of DICKS at the bottom of their souls, because that's all they know what to do with their life. And with the men, they're so confused and so focused on the hub that they can't have a relationship with an actual woman. It seems to me that our generation is just cascading into this controlled chaos, this controlled collapse. And nobody seems to care. Nobody seems to notice except for we who are vigilant, or at least striving to be vigilant. And I think that the problem with this is that the only way forward is to just kind of enjoy life for what it is and recognize that don't be a degenerate, but still enjoy life. Don't be committing sins for no reason. Like, of course we're going to fall into sin. We're not, we're not perfect, but we're striving to be perfect. And that's going to be a lifelong endeavor, but we don't need a permit to sin just because we feel like it. And a lot of men and women, they can't even, like, they want to shine, but can they shine without being seen? That's a question that I think a lot of people, they can't answer coherently. And the reason that they can't answer that coherently is because they don't even know what it's like to feel themselves. Like, this is one of the reasons meditation, I talk about with all my clients, one-on-one sessions and mentorships. I always talk about meditation. Can you feel your presence? Can you feel who it is that you are? Like, just being with yourself. Can you feel that? And do you enjoy it? Do you like being who you are, with who you are, by yourself? When it's just you and God in the silence, because that's where God really speaks to us and whispers to us the most, is in those echoes of silence. It's like, can you actually and cohesively sit down and be with yourself and be with your thoughts and not judge them? That's, a lot of people can't, and I'm not saying that I can always do that. Of course, there's going to be times where maybe doubt creeps in, or maybe some kind of negative aspect creeps in, or I get really angry. I am told that I come across as somebody that's very calm, cool, and collected, and I think that's the case. But I also, and some people are intimidated by how calm I can be and just be with myself and be who I am so much they get intimidated by that. And to that I say, you know what? Because sometimes with men, we're like told that we can't be who we really are. We're told that we can't really be the wild, free, independent man. Because this is what feminism wants, right? Like, strong and independent. Why do you think feminism wants that? Why do you think it's no coincidence that in Genesis, woman's punishment was the desire for her husband, and now we have a movement called feminism that literally tells you, unless you act like a man, you can't be a woman? Like, hello, we're literally witnessing the echoes of the consciousness curse that God had placed upon mankind. Okay, that's exactly what's happening here. And I think that because consciousness is in levels, and this is something that, again, I talk about in my book, but like in the book, I talk about how man and woman, if we were to think about man and woman as archetypes, okay, man has a certain set of functions to provide and to protect, and woman, she has a set of functions, to multiply and replenish. And even though they're both meant to multiply and replenish, it's just they're doing it in their own ways, right? And I think that we have completely lost sight of what it means to multiply and replenish the earth as we were commanded to by God. I don't think anybody truly understands the depths and the magnitude of how we are when it comes to this reality. But you know what? This is why I say, just enjoy the time that you have. Build yourself up to the best of your ability. That doesn't mean to give up hope. It doesn't mean to give up your ambitions. But because ultimately, if you're only inspired around somebody of the opposite gender, I don't think that's a healthy state of mind. It's great if they enhance that. That's fantastic. But if they just are there and you get like a high around this person, usually when you get like a high around somebody, that person is just trying to manipulate you into feeling good so that they can take something from you. Okay, and this is one of the reasons why I think a lot of people misunderstand my my material and my work, and even in my author's note in this book, I talk about how I do not hold myself responsible for any misinterpretations of the book. And I don't really hold myself responsible for any misinterpretations of my work here on the videos or in the Regal Change Academy or anything like that, because I will explain, like, I'm not going to explain myself necessarily, but if somebody wants more clarity, I'll give them clarity. But sometimes it just is what it is. The truth is very simple, but that means that sometimes the truth is simply complex. Okay? And when it comes to intersexual dynamics, I don't think that a lot of people are ready for the level of awareness that we're going to have to get out of this and to really heal from the trauma and all of the freaking soul ties that's been going on. It's just because soul ties are a real thing. Okay? And you can have a soul tie with somebody without having sexual experiences with them, but it's not going to be nearly as strong. But if you have a sexual engagement with somebody, you are absolutely tying your soul to somebody else. Okay? And the only way that you can actually cleanse that bond, because especially if it's a toxic bond, the only way that you can cleanse that is through acts of purity. That's it. And it's not to say that you have to be on semen retention if you're a man, or you have to be celibate. It's just that if you're in a long-term relationship, then you got to be smart. Okay? And I don't know why people have sex with condoms. Okay, I'm just going to put that out there. Why do you have sex with why are you having sex with someone that doesn't want to have kids with you? Or why are you having sex with someone that you don't want to have kids with? Like, I know, like, I know why, but do you know why? Why do you know, why do you think? It's only for, pleasure. It's only for this fleshly desire. And again, I understand that we're not always going to be able to stay steadfast, but this is something that it's just ruined society, ladies and gentlemen. It's absolutely ruined society. And the only thing that I'm doing, and I'm not giving advice here, I'm just saying this is what's working for me, this is what's not working for me. What's not working for me is to try to continue to work with women that only want to compete against me. Why would I do that? Why would I? These women in the workplace too. Like, I've thought about making a video on being a handsome man in the workplace, because they'll get upset. They'll get super upset that you don't talk to them in the workplace. And even if you did, there's that possibility that anything can happen, right? Like, I've had women literally try to put me in jail because I've had boundaries. That's how crazy some of these women can be. Okay? And the men just, they can be perverts, dude. Like, they can really be creepy. But women can be creepier than men. I've seen that for a fact. And a lot of people might not agree with that, or they might not understand what I'm saying, because they've never experienced that level of creepiness from a woman, excuse me. And if you've never experienced that level of creepiness from a woman, count yourself blessed, okay? It's not fun. It's not what you think it is. And a lot of men have told me, like, oh, must be so hard having women follow you around. It's like, yeah, actually, it's not comfortable at all. Actually, it's not fun at all. It's actually really, really bizarre and freaky and gross. Like, this is a very weird situation. And they're so covert about it, and they can, they have the victim card that they can play at any time, and yet they simultaneously have power in the legal system. It's just all there. So this is why I'm not married. And, to build off of that as well, one of the other reasons I'm not married is because I have seen so many married women, especially recently. In fact, yesterday, I had 3 married women at the gym try to get my attention and bend over in front of me, and I just walk away. And it's because I'm going to the gym at different times now, kind of switching things up a bit. And so I'm like, there's like new women there that I'm seeing, and I can literally see their ring on their finger, and they're acting like they're single, and they're dressing like they're single. This is another thing that, like, I've told women in the past, we're not gonna be, we're not gonna be together if you're gonna be dressing like that. It's just not gonna happen. You're a really nice woman, but this is something that if we're gonna like, because she wants something more, and it's like, well, you're not acting like it. What do you mean I'm not? Well, why do you dress like you're single? Oh, well, I can dress how I want. Okay, great. Then see ya. Go somewhere else. Don't stay here and expect something to actually happen, because that's not going to fly. And I just don't care enough. Like, I just don't care enough to bend my life over for a woman anymore. I just don't. I used to believe, even just a few months ago, I used to believe, like, you know what? If a woman is teachable, if she maybe doesn't match everything that I would want, and I'm not saying like I'm looking for everything that I want, because you're never going to get everything out of a spouse. I was almost going to say a partner, but I hate that freaking term. Ugh, like a partner. No, we're not partners, woman. We're not partners. Okay. And it's like so ingrained into us. Your partner, your partner, your partner. No, 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 no. We're not partners here. No, no, no. I'm the leader in the situation, because every single time I didn't lead in the situation, I always got burned. Every single time. Every single time. But every time I've led, guess what? I was able to walk away with my heart intact, my peace of mind intact, even though it hurt a little bit to hurt her feelings about just walking away. I did it in the nicest way possible. I have compassion for you, but we're not compatible. You know, what else are you supposed to say to that? Like, that's the nicest way you can turn someone down, as far as I'm concerned, and actually show compassion, because you actually are, like, you're demonstrating that. But anyway, like, married women are just, they're the ones that, a lot of men might not like this. Married women are the easiest women to get, in my opinion, and in my experience. And the reason being remains kind of mystery to me. The only thing that I can think of, and the only thing that I can reasonably put together, is that it's the forbidden fruit kind of a thing. Like, they don't want me for me. They just want me for like a thrill for themselves. That's what it is. So you've got to be careful. You got to be mindful, and you got to choose the right woman. You got to choose the right man, no matter who it is. All right. No matter who's watching this, choose the right person. Okay. Choose a person that's actually aligned with you. Because, yeah, if they are teachable, and if they seem teachable, but they're not willing to negotiate on certain things that you know are going to be a problem based off of your experience in the past, you got to walk away. And that's just pretty much where it is. And in my life, I guess I just haven't met anyone that is worth me putting everything on the line, just because I know that someone's out there, but it just isn't happening yet. And who knows, it could happen today, it could happen tomorrow. It's all God's timing, as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, no girlfriend, no side chicks, just me and God. And that's the way it's going to be for the time being. So with all that being said, I hope this video was useful and insightful for you. Check out my book in the link in the description box below. And also check out the Regal Change Academy group and online school that we have, or sign up for a one-on-one mentorship call today. I also have the Godlike Mastery Initiation program that I'm completely redoing and updating over the next few days. So be sure to look out for that, and I'll be sending out some messages about that as well. I hope everybody stays blessed. Peace. Until next time.